Philippians chapter 4, verse 19, and my God shall supply all you need according to his riches in glory. I want to preach, as we conclude this series, I want to preach today from the subject, the agony of my survival. The agony of my survival. Pastor Justice, you and I are both aware that in this life, you may have your seats in the presence of the Lord. In this life, you're going to have to learn quickly how to survive. You can't rely on your mother. You can't rely on your father. You're going to have to learn in this life how to survive and navigate through, as we've said in Bible study, the treacherous areas that life will sometimes bring. And my brothers and sisters, let me be the first to point out that life for me has not been no crystal stair. And all of you in here have that testimony. You've had more bad days than you've had good days. You've had more ups, more downs than you have ups. You know what it is to go through moments where you don't know how the next day is going to be. And I want to submit to you today, before I go another further, that if you're going to survive in life, you got to learn how to handle agonizing moments. Do I have a witness here? Sometimes life will just be agonizing all in itself. Doesn't matter, Sister Ruth, what side of the bed you get up on, whether you get up on the right side or the left side. Doesn't matter how much time you spend in prayer. All of us will go through some agonizing days. Do I have a witness in here? Anybody ever raised children, a son or a daughter? You can testify with me that there have been moments in your life where you almost didn't know how you were going to make it. Anybody ever been married? Anybody ever gone through marriage? 1 year, 5 years, 20 years? You know every day ain't a Walgreens commercial. On your job, trying to hold on to your position, not knowing who's sitting in the office across the hall, upstairs or downstairs, that's vying for and vetting for your position. Life can be agonizing. Some of you in here right now, not going to admit it, but you walked in with Ben Gay. You're walking out with Ben Gay. You got Tylenol in one pocket. You got Midol in another pocket. You got Advil in another pocket. You got Sudafed. I'm on somebody's street. You got Sudafed in another pocket. You got something in your pocketbook or in your pocket that's trying to help you cope. My brothers and sisters, I want to point out today that sometimes life is just going to be unfair. You can shout, you can sing in the choir, you can play the instruments, you can count the Lord's money, Evelyn, you can even preach in the Lord's pulpit. And there are going to be moments that you did not sign up for, moments that you did not expect. Sickness is going to come, hurt and frustration, pain and agony and disparity. Tears are going to flow, and sometimes you're not even going to be able to explain why you're crying. But I want to submit today that we serve a provisional God, a God that can supply all of our need. Paul writes this letter to the church at Philippi, thanking them for the gifts that they had provided, for him while he was out doing various missionary work, going through the various things that he was going through as a bearer of the gospel. And my brothers and sisters, I want to park here for my first time this morning and suggest that even in the midst of your agonizing moments, you've got to still learn how to be a giver. You ought not always be the one looking for a hug. You ought to hug somebody sometime yourself. You ought not always be the one standing in line waiting for somebody to acknowledge you or to bless you or to give you a word of encouragement. Even while you're agonizing, even while you're trying to survive, if you're the Lord's child, you ought to be able to muster up something and say, baby, I'm going through, but I love you anyhow. Baby, I'm going through, but I'm going to hug you anyhow. Baby, I'm trying to make it through what I'm facing, but let me share a word with you that the Lord is still our shepherd and we want for nothing. Paul thanked them for the gifts that they had shared. And today, I want you to park here with me. And in your mind, I want you to thank the Lord for every gift that God has ever provided. Every time he woke you up. Every time he put your feet on the ground. Every time you was able to move your gut out of the way and bend over and lace up your own shoes. Every time you got up and combed your own hair. Every time you took that wig off the mantle and put it on your own head. I'm going to get on somebody's pew. Every time you stepped in the shower and bathed your own self. Every time you put your own mascara on, every time you put your own Mac on, every time you squeezed and shined your own Stacey Adams, if it had not been for the Lord who was on your side, even in the midst of agonizing moments, somebody ought to thank God for the gifts that God continues to give. I want to park here, Sean. I didn't know you were coming. If I'd known, I wouldn't say it this way. But I'm sick of ungrateful people. I'm sick of people that got a car to drive but still complain. You got a job, it might not be like my job, but you got a job, but you still complain. I'm sick of folk that you got food in your refrigerator, but you still complain. You got clothes in the closet that still got tags on them, but you still complain. You got gifts above gifts. Some of y'all still got your Christmas trees up, still got gifts under there, but you still complain. How in the world can you complain when we serve a God who keeps right on giving? And somewhere along the line, client shop, somewhere along the line, we ought to pause and say, God, if you don't give me another suit, Lord, I feel like lifting him up here. God, if you don't put another pair of ostrich on my feet. God, if you don't give me another car to drive. I'm thankful for the gifts that you've already. Now, to some of y'all, that don't sound like much because you're privileged. But I'm talking to the folk that don't deserve the car. I'm talking to the folk that walked in the man's shop with a 450 credit score and you walked out with a car that you needed a 750 for. I'm talking to the folk that didn't have the money for the down payment on the mortgage, but some kind of way the house is sitting on the lot. I'm talking to folk where the doctor said he didn't know what the end was going to be, but that was 5 or 10 years ago, and you're still in the land of the living. I'm talking about folk that had children and didn't know how you were going to feed them, and now your child is 30 and 40 and 50 and 60 years old. If it had not been for the Lord who was on our side, You ought to thank God for the gifts that God gives you, even in agonizing moments. Here's the thing, Jessica, I need you to see it. God does not stop blessing just because you're under a cloud of agony. I want you to get that in your spirit. God doesn't stop. God does not halt blessings because you're going through. Well, Pastor, I just don't know what the Lord going to do. I've been praying, I've been fasting, and I don't see God moving. Well, wait on him. I need some Pentecostal people to help me now. Just wait on him. See, that's the problem with us as millennials and young adults and those of us in our 40s, middle age. My mother, Tammy, called me middle age this morning. I'm going to deal with her tomorrow on that. That's the problem with us. We've never learned the art of waiting. See, you all who are 70 and 80, you know what it is to wait, because a lot of times you only got something 3 times a year. Christmas, birthday, and back to school. Now, those of us that were born past 70, all we had to do was whine, fall out, have a fit. And in 2020, what happens now is all you got to do is look like, boy, let me give you this so you'll leave me alone. Boy, come on, get this here so you can just stop worrying me. But I'm talking to the people that have something to be thankful for. I'm talking to the people that can look back over your life and see all of the gifts that God has provided while you were trying to survive. You didn't have nothing. You wasn't born with anything. You were born in a hard-working, blue-collar family. And God never let you miss a meal. God never let you go without everything you needed. God always. And somewhere along the line, we've got to pause at least once a month and say, God, I thank you. I thank you for this old ragged suit that come from K&G. God, I thank you for that old Oldsmobile that goes when it wants to go. God, I thank you for that house where the molding is falling down and there's cracks in the ceiling, but I'm cool in the summer and I'm warm in the winter. God, I thank you. I've got medicine in the morning, medicine in the evening, but your gifts and your provision allow the medicine to not cross itself and allow my golden moments to keep right on moving. See, here's the thing. I know it's agonizing. You know how I know it? Because some of y'all wear it on your face. You're about like me, you wear how you feel on your face. You struggle, and you haven't learned what the old people learn. You put the suit on, the hat on, the makeup on, come on into church and shout and not know what tomorrow gonna bring. But we wear it on our face. We keep it in our heart. We're going to come to the altar and we're going to pray today. And some of y'all are going to take that same problem that you're agonizing over right back to the pew with you. But here's what the Lord is saying. The Lord is saying that he will supply. And what I like about Philippians 4:19 is he does not specify what he will supply. He just makes a broad statement that I will supply all you need. Everything. He doesn't put you in a category. Well, I'm going to supply this for them, but I'm only going to supply this for you. He will supply all that you need. So if I'm agonizing, trying to survive, trying to make it, trying to get by, trying to hold on to, trying not to lose my mind, what do I need to remember? Yeah, the Lord is my shepherd's good. That's good, but that's old-fashioned. That's good. I can talk about they that wait upon the Lord shall. Yeah, that's good. We sing that. That's wonderful. That's nice. I can even talk about I can do all things through Christ. All that's perfect. That's pretty. Sounds real good. Sounds real Sunday schoolish. But every now and then I need to go to Philippians 4:19. And I need to be reminded in the midst of a dark and stormy night that the God I serve, I wish I had some help here, will provide for me all. So I got a child in college, he'll provide. I got a mortgage payment and a car note, he will provide. I got sugar and cancer, he will provide. Some days I feel like getting up and some days I feel like blowing my brains out, but he will supply. Some days, Pastor, I don't know whether I'm going, don't know whether I'm coming. He will supply. Some days, my mother gets on my nerves. Some days, my father gets on my nerves. Some days, my wife, my husband, my son, my daughter. Don't worry about it, baby. The God I serve will supply everything you need. Watch this, for your survival. Now, it's a whole lot more to the text that's not written in Philippians 4:19. Yes, we serve a God who will supply. But in order for him to supply, you've got to trust and believe that he's going to do it. I'm going to tell you what else I'm tired of, Sean. I'm not only tired of people that's ungrateful, but I'm tired of faithless churchgoers. Boy, you might mess around and come wrong Sunday. I'm tired of faithless. Listen to the words that's coming out of my mouth. Faithless church goers. I didn't say disciples. I didn't say church workers. I didn't say officers. I didn't say leaders. I didn't say specify a particular category. I'm talking about those of us who come out of tradition but do not believe God can. See, I come from a family sugar pig that believes that no matter how dark it is, God can. I need some cousins to help me pull it here. That no matter what comes my way, the God I serve, if I trust him and never doubt, he can provide in the midst of agonizing moments, in the midst of me trying to survive every fiery dart from the enemy. I've got to believe that I serve a God that not only sits high, looks low, but can make things happen in places where everybody thought it could not. And so maybe that's what he was talking about. Maybe he wasn't just talking about the gift that they gave. Maybe he was trying to say to us in 2020 that we serve a God that can supply even in places where those who thought he could not or would not, he does. So you go in the doctor's office, and the doctor looks at you and says, the test don't look promising. You say, thank you, sir. Is there a closet? Let me get to my car. Let me get in my car and roll up my windows. I need some help in here now. Let me just get in the car. I don't need the keys. You can, Tommy, you can keep the keys. I don't need the keys. I just need to get to my car. Because I know what you said, but I got to go talk to my medical advisor. Yeah. I got to talk to my medical advisor because my medical advisor can advise me on what you've said, and he can confirm whether what you're saying is right. I know what the doctor said, but I want to know what God is saying. Yeah, you go to the lawyer. Lawyer said, well, you know, I don't know what I can do, and this is what it's going to cost. Yeah, but I just, do you have a closet? Can I just go out to my car? Can I just leave my things here? Can you just go talk to your legal assistant? I just need to go to my car. I just need to lock the doors, roll up the windows, and I need to talk to the lawyer that's above you. I need to talk to the lawyer that didn't take his bar at UVA or Howard. I need to talk to the lawyer that passed the bar one Friday afternoon. because he can advise me on whether what you're saying is right. And when I talk to my medical advisor, when I talk to my legal advisor, they can tell me, yeah, what man says is right, but man ain't God. And that's what I want to leave with you today. Man is not God. I know what man said. Man says that it's not going to get no better. But I know what God said. God says that in him I have my life, I have life, and I'm able to move and have my being. Man says that there's a virus out here coming from China. But God says that you shall live and not die. Man says Trump might not get impeached, and it might push him and catapult him into another 4 years. He might just get it. I don't know. But God says, if you trust me and never doubt, I will, I'm done, bring you out. Man says, I've got to amputate. But God says, if you go in your secret closet and call on me, I'll provide for you what you need to keep your limbs. Man says, you're not going to make it. You're going to stay behind these things, and you're going to stay in this and stay in that and stay in the other. But God says, I will lead you down the path of righteousness, and I'll find some still waters to lay you down and give you peace like a river. Man says you can't make it. You can't survive. God says, I'll keep you in perfect peace as long as you keep your mind on me. Man says you're going to lose your mind. God says, let this mind be in you that was in Christ Jesus. Man says you can't make it. You got to keep on borrowing. But God says you're not going to be the borrower, but you're going to be the lender. You're not going to be the tail, but you're going to be the head. Man says it ain't no God. God says, I sent my only son to die one Friday, go down in hell one Saturday, and get up early Sunday morning with all power. I don't care what man says. Man says you ain't gonna preach. No more. God says, I called you. I commissioned you. And you're going to stand in places that those who said you never stand will never stand in the places that I'm about to elevate you to. He will provide. I'm done. Sean wanted to hear me holler. I'm done. I'm learning how to pace myself in my middle age. I ain't going to do it. He will provide. He will make a way. He will bring you out. Let me just poll the house before I go to my seat. Anybody in here know what I'm talking about? Anybody in here can testify that you were once sinking deep in sin, far from the peaceful shore, very deeply stained within, sinking to rise no more, but the master of the sea heard my despairing cry, and Deshaun arises from the waters. I don't care what nobody say. He's lifted me. And now, because he's a providing God, now, because he's a provisional Savior, now, because he puts food on my table, now, because he puts clothes on your back, now, because he can open doors that no man can shut, now, because he will provide. Safe. Anybody safe today? Anybody safe today? Anybody safe today? Won't he walk with you? Won't he talk with you? Won't he hold your hand? Won't he guide your feet? I got one thing to ask you today. Ain't he all right? I said I wasn't going to do it. Oh, shucks. Ain't he all right? Can you say yeah? Yeah. He will provide. I said he will provide. If you trust in the Lord, God will. God will provide. God will provide. God will, God will. God will, God will. God will, God will. God will, God will. He may not come when you want him, but he will today. He may not come in the morning, but he will come at noon. If you miss him at noon, if you keep on praying, he will come when I call on the Lord. Yeah! 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 Listen, I'm done. I wasn't going to do that. I'm done. Stop walking around ungrateful. Stop walking around like God ain't done nothing for you. Stop walking around like you don't have any examples to show his mercy. Stop walking around like you have no example to show how good a provider he's been. I can call my health insurance company and I can go to them and say, look, I went to the doctor, had a test done. Test was $3,750. What can you pay? My health care provider, underline the word provider, says, well, out of that $3,750, we only going to pay $275, leaving me with the balance. But that's not what God does. God sees you, thank you, Lord. He sees you, Sean, in your sin. He sees you in your sorrow, and he sees your forgiveness. And you know what he does? Unlike your health insurance provider, he provides you with a clean slate. Anybody remember? Oh, don't play with me now. Anybody remember when God cleaned your slate? When he was the ultimate health care provider? Somebody ought to bless the name of the Lord. I said somebody ought to bless the name. We're not going to bother Sean today. We're going to let him just enjoy worship. Not going to bother him, sing, pray, preach, play, or nothing. We just want him to enjoy. But listen, I want to talk to you. I want you to help me understand. And I want to make sure that I'm good. Do you know he's a provider? Has he done anything to prove? Don't fool me now. Has he done anything to prove to you? Lay aside your differences. Lay aside your issues and just ask yourself, has the Lord proven to me? Come on, don't play with me now. Has the Lord proven to you? I wasn't even supposed to preach this morning. I didn't think about this till I come down the highway. Has the Lord proven to you that he can provide? Well, I got a job for you. Walk in it. Walk in his provision. Walk in his favor. Walk in what the Lord has already, out of your own mouth, proven to you that he can do. How'd I do that, Palmer? What'd I do? You walk in faith. You walk in belief that no matter how it looks, no matter how you feel, God is going to make a way. And my God shall supply all you need. All you need. So when you go home today and you see the vacancies, thank you, Jesus, in your home, just speak it into existence. My God shall supply. When you go and lay down tonight, and you know how we do when we lay down, we get thinking before we go to sleep about woe is me, oh, poor me, poor me. Think about how he has already provided. Think about the time that was worse than this time you're dealing with now, and how he brought you through then. You get up in the morning, go on your job, and those hateful, racist, low-down people that try to pull your joy, try to take your happiness. You go in there and say, God, you're going to provide. Whatever you got to deal with tomorrow, somebody got a bill due in the morning. Tomorrow is the deadline. Don't you worry about it, baby. Walk in faith. And God, if you pray and pray right, Violet, I believe in my heart that God will make a way. Door of the Lord's house is open.